Good morning. Uh, we come, there's talking, probably my seniors. Uh, we come to kind of the end of school, and one of the things that we do very regularly is that we have kind of a week of senior chapels. Well, needless to say, because the seniors, most of them won't be here Thursday and Friday, we're going to have 3 days of senior chapels. But we feel like that you're really going to enjoy them, get a lot out of them. And what we have always done initially is let you see how God put the class together. And so we're going to introduce the kids one or two at a time in the class year that they came to Trinity, whether they came in PDO or 12th grade. And so, by the way, each of them will be carrying a symbol of the year that they came. Now, for some, that will be a pacifier, because some came very, very early. And so we begin. This is the senior class of 2016 by the year that they came into the school. Now, let me say that this is one of the first years that I've ever had someone say, I asked them, how long have you been at Trinity? And I had two that said 18 years. And I said, born here. No, not quite. But they came into PDO nursery between 3 and 6 months. And that would be Sloan Olson and Caleb Hayslip, our first beginners of the 2016 class. Now you're going to come down here and stand right up here on the steps. Let's see, there's what they're carrying. Oh, his little sheep, what, lamb? His little lamb, and you've got your bottle. Good. That fits well. But let me say, when their moms brought them to the nursery, they would never have guessed that was the beginning of the class of 2016. Now, the next one to show up at 2 years old was Daniel Threadgill. Talk about being here forever. Here comes Daniel. And then at 3 years old, we added Logan Adams, Sarah Jane Leverton, and Nancy Wheeler. Oh. And as usual, Daniel is without a toy. He brought himself. That's great. By the way, and congratulations to Queen Sarah Jane Leverton. Woo-hoo. And here's your prom queen with her teddy bear. Okay. There's something kind of, and her Banky, and there's Tiger. Okay. Now, the next grade of little bitties is called pre-K. And these are 4 and 5-year-olds. And I kind of didn't necessarily know how to picture that class until they were paired as our prayer partners with us for our Israel mission trip. And they are the cutest things ever. And this is maybe the year of one of our greatest influxes into this school year. So in the 4 and 5-year-old class, here came King Cade Curry, king of the prom. Woohoo! Christopher Gashin, the valedictorian. Jack Harlan, Nathan Henderson, David Hoffs, Molly Johnston, and the Stell twins, David and Berkeley. So, man, what a year we had. It was a windfall for the class. Absolutely awesome. And I want you to realize in a class of what was going to be 39, here's 14 of them. A good third of the class was here before kindergarten. That's kind of amazing. Now then, let's move on. Kindergarten saw a couple of new little blonde, beautiful little girls. In came Sarah Davis and Rachel Gilmore. Precious and darling. This Sweet 16 class rocked along now till 2nd grade. Nobody joined them in 1st grade. Maybe they were scared. You can move over now, Molly. Okay, so that's... But in 2nd grade, here came Jaron Hurst. Yay, Jaron. Now let me say that at the prom, they showed a bunch of pictures of the kids when they were little bitties, and obviously they had a lot to work with. And Jaron was the most recognizable because I think he's changed the least. So oh, third grade. Third grade brought in Mason Moriarty, whom I now recognize. Then fourth grade, here came Gus Landis and Lindsay Lamb, and Celeste Oliveris, and life would never be the same. They are most happy when they have their little, and merciful heavens, Gus. You carried that around in fourth grade, it had to be bigger than you. Now, before we could continue some growth, we had a little loss. So, Rachel, you must sit down for a bit. She went away, and then no, just sit. Just sit. You can come back. She will come back shortly. Well, actually, not shortly, but shortly. Now, fifth grade was a very interesting year. This was our administrative year. We added two young ladies who each could run the world, Kate Kitchens and Addie Pratt. You can make row number 2 if you'd like in front of them. By the end of elementary school, we added one more little student, literally, Emily Tardy. Oh dear, a broken child. Was that part of is that your prop? Oh goodness, oh, at least she's not broken. Now let me say that we all know that junior high can be kind of tough years. They can be a little difficult. There can be some trying times. And so who did we add in junior high? 7th grade, C.J. Havens. And then 8th grade, Storm Driggers and Andy Randolph. Oh my goodness, what was this? Let's build a baseball team years? I don't know. But yes, here they came, and we went forward the best we could. That's all I can say. Now, moving schools in high school isn't easy. And let me tell you that I know that. I changed schools every single year of high school. But our class would never have been complete without Rachel coming back. Yes. Oh, success. And then in the 9th grade, T-Money joined us. And I'm sure he's got a real name, but I don't know what it is. And Guthrie Thomas came in the freshman year. Okay, do not use the skateboard in school today. Just thought I'd tell you. Then in 10th grade, we had another little bit of an influx. It was really nice. Kennedy King joined us, Tim Lim, Derek Mitchell, Cameron Sperlin, and Brock Waldrop. Mercy. Oh, man. Brock, be careful what you do with that. I just hit somebody in the eyeball. Then 11th grade came, and you keep thinking maybe the class is about done, but no. The 11th grade was our international year. Serena Liu, Lily Matsuda, and Alexa Nelson. And they have been so much fun. And then, it's not over till it's over. What can you say? So senior year, here came a couple of more guys. Tristan Boning, Nathan Schroeder. Now let me say that, of course, this, by the way, is the class of 2016. Y'all don't go anywhere yet. There has been invariably a lot of coming and going. Some of the kids' new friends that had left at certain years and wanted to bring them as their prop. I told them that that would not be okay. But the Lord built this house. This, by the way, is, and I've been here for the whole time, the 25th graduating class of Trinity Christian High School, because we started in 91. The Lord knew that we needed to have baseball players and football players, which we didn't have at the time they came in, of course. He knew we needed to build and find championships and scholarships. We knew they needed to win those. He knew that China and Japan would touch our lives, and that one day we would have kids that would fly away to North Carolina and even Australia. Oh, and one's even going to stumble into UT. You win some, you lose some. Mostly the Lord knew that he would draw this class to him, that Guthrie would emerge as a worship leader, and that Serena would accept Christ in her senior year. He knew that he would take them around the world in mission trips and put missions into their heart. The Lord built this house. And by the way, when you add up all the years of Christian education that has been poured into this relatively small class, it represents 354 years of Christian education. Wow. That's a lot of Bible classes and books read and papers written, lots of ball games and races, and a ton of the Word of God poured in. The Lord has promised that his word never returns void. And so, class of 2016, our expectations of you are great. Thank you, class of 2016. You may have a seat. Oh, me. Okay, we're now going to show you the class's memory video. By the way, the theme of today is memories.
My junior year high school retreat, and Coach Neal was making.
All right, my favorite senior memory would be Nathan Schrader sending me to the Guatemalan hospital.
My favorite TCS memory was probably my junior year high school retreat, and Coach Neal was making us run the hills. And I finished the hills, and I felt great. I was so proud of myself. And as I started walking back down, all of a sudden, I just threw up all over the place. It was like a fire hydrant. And then when people saw me throwing up, they started throwing up, and it was great.
Okay, so my favorite TCS memory would probably be junior year at cheer camp when I was rooming with Marissa and Cassie, and they had gone to bed, and I was not tired, and so I lay there for like an hour, and then I sat up and I acted like I was possessed, and I made Marissa start crying, and Cassie ran out of the dorm, so I really freaked them out.
TCS is taking on the A3 girls with Senor Snelling and Ben.
My favorite TCS memory is cross country this year.
My favorite TCS memory is the time a student got caught cheating on a cheating test. And then
my favorite senior memory would basically be every day that I'm not here. So every day.
Senior memory is whenever we were doing a Charlie Brown Christmas play in theater, and Rebecca Hardwick was supposed to fake fall off the stage, but instead she actually fell off the stage and destroyed our piano prop set, and I had to rebuild it in less than 3 minutes for the next scene.
My favorite memory at TCS would be volleyball warm-ups with Nancy Wheeler during 7th and 8th grade.
My favorite memories are state trips with track and the basketball.
My favorite senior memory is when Zachary Jones peed himself on the bus on the way back.
My favorite TCS memory is when Coach Pikert dropped a bucket of sheep's eyes in the utility room and it went everywhere.
My favorite TCS memory is when we lost that at a half-court shot in the middle of a basketball game with 3 minutes left, since I was counting down from 10.
My favorite TCS memory is our sophomore year in English whenever Nathan Henderson accidentally brought his Sonicare toothbrush into our English class, and it started vibrating between 2 books, and it sounded like something was wrong in the ceiling, and Miss Frost called Coach Head and found a pain.
Favorite memory was freshman year one-act team. Jack got chicken fried steak, and Madeline St. Clair thought it was a cookie, and she asked him if that was his dinner, and that was really funny.
My favorite memory from high school is probably sophomore year whenever I got to meet the Scarecrow and the Wizard of Oz, and I got to hang out with Shay in Brooklyn, and it was really fun.
My favorite high school memory is the first year of one-act play, where the play was all in rhyme, and I can remember every word of it.
Memory is all the times in the van with Coach Bullen, and one specific time, whenever it was way past her bedtime, she told us we were going to Subway, missed the turn, and yelled we're going to Burger King.
Favorite TCS memory is when Coach Black was canoeing in our little plow lake next to the football field, and he forgot his rope. So Campagne went and ran back to the truck to grab it, and on his way he decided to go down the path of most resistance, and he fell down the hill into the plow lake.
My favorite memory is when my brother was not supposed to be in the classroom and he tackled Clayton Schneider and broke his arm.
My favorite memory is when me, David Hoffs, and CJ all snuck onto the elementary school roof and almost got Noah, the maintenance man, fired.
My favorite memory of high school was when Capania and I wrestled over baseball for about 20 minutes to wake up to Coach yelling at us.
My favorite TCS memory was getting to go to Cloudcroft with my grade and the senior girls and just get to take pictures and have fun.
My favorite memory is go to Starbucks with my small group.
I have to nail it once. Okay. Is it on? My favorite TCS memory is when I was in biology class with a bunch of freshmen, and I'm the only senior, and we were learning about how the fish breathe or something through its operculum, and we did this for 2 minutes.
The Claude game fight.
Okay, my favorite memory is my junior year at state. We were at a restaurant, just me, David, and the two coaches, and the waiter thought that the coaches were our parents.
My favorite TCS memory is shaving my head with Kate Curry and CJ Havens on the 8th grade trip.
My favorite senior memory is when the scare didn't know who I was.
I guess my favorite memory is when Team Money broke a bet at high school retreat. What was that, freshman year? Yeah, freshman year.
My favorite TCS memory is when we won our first football game here.
My favorite memory would have to be almost dying as we were in a car wreck in Stockholm.
My favorite memory is watching Caleb Hayslett do box jumps and falling on his stomach. It was so fun.
My favorite TCS memory was whenever I was taller than Jaron and Sloan, but now I am the shortest in all of high school and junior high.
Okay, my favorite TCS memory is my freshman one-act trip.
Okay, my favorite senior memory is in 4th grade when I gave my diary to Sloan and Berkeley because I really wanted to get their best friends.
TCS memory is on the football retreat junior year whenever Cross shot T-Money in the hip with a blow dart gun and it stuck into his bone and we had to like.
My favorite memory is when Guthrie Thomas kissed James Gleason on the neck while going to a football game.
My favorite TCS memory is laughing a lot.
See how fun school is. Teachers, I've got a few teachers here who are going to turn the tables on you, and we're going to share a few memories of you. We'll start with Mrs. Walcott.
Oh dear. Okay, using my phone for my notes. If I can remember my passcode. Okay.
It's a number.
Of course, I started out the year with relatively large classes, and in pre-cal had quite a few students, but Nate Dogg, Guthrie, Caleb, and SJ taught me that I could have a second career as a magician because by week 2, they had disappeared from my class. I think it's a whole, they liked physics, doing the path of least resistance. Dr. Hickey will get that joke. Speaking of pre-cal, that was a pun, guys. Resistance, physics, R over, yeah, anyway, okay. All right. Thank you. Speaking of pre-cal, the kids were rooting for Derek all last 6 weeks. I mean, the guy was on a roll. His daily grade homework average was spot on, and we were so excited. What in the world? You're talking about my phone?
Excuse me. Jack? No, Jack. It's not graded yet. No. Okay, sorry.
Now, this grade that we were so excited for Derek to maintain, it was a 73. We are raising the standard in pre-cal. Hey, big shout out to Celeste. I mean, I'm surprised she has a TCS memory because this child, this child is brilliant. She does not come to class. She doesn't do her homework, and yet she can pass every test I throw at her. Celeste, you are brilliant. And we are not supposed to yell at kids, but I tell you what, junior high, do you all know that any equation of a line begins with x equals or y equals? I've got some seniors who still have to learn this. I had just done a quick review. Guys, your asymptotes, make sure that they are x equals or y equals. I'm glancing around at papers. I'm sorry, I had to yell at Tristan Boning. I just had to. The guy wrote no x equals or y equals on his asymptote. So I just hope I don't get in trouble for yelling at him. And last but not least, KK gave me some good relationship advice the other day. Even if you're cousins, a handshake is good enough.
Okay, so I taught seniors for the first time this year, and just to kind of give you a nice picture of what my senior class looked like, it involved Nathan, Cade, Brock, Josh, Mason, David, and Tim. That was my senior English class. So I get my roster. At the beginning of the year, and I'm terrified. Seniors has always been my dream, and now I'm stuck with 8 18-year-old boys in one class. So the first day, I get them, and they are crazy, off the walls crazy. So I'm like, you know what, guys? Let's take a 5-minute break. More so for me, not so for them. So they leave, and I'm like, deep breaths, in my classroom. They all come back in a herd, hysterically laughing. And I am like wide-eyed, and I'm like, what has happened? And they're like, you should have been there. I was like, well, I can't be there. You were in the bathroom. Please explain. Josh lifts up his shirt and has a giant bruise, kid you not, about this big. And he goes, so we were trying to unbutton Nathan's shirt. And Josh rammed himself into the bathroom counter and fell to the ground. Do you want to see? We have a video. I said, no, I think the bruise is enough. You are never allowed to go to the bathroom together ever again, until they proved to me that they could handle themselves in the bathroom, which they did. Growth. That's growth in a senior class. And then my other favorite memory has to be Play-Doh Day, which I'm sure is...
Excuse me. Hello? Jack? It was 2 hours ago. And I've talked since then. No. And no. So sorry.
So, of course, Play-Doh Day, very infamous day. They all brought their Play-Doh, and they were so excited, and Cade walks in and is like, I've been waiting all day for this. And he, cracks his open and immediately starts playing with it. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see Tim roll his Play-Doh up, throw it down on the desk, and then watch it. And then he picks it up again, rolls it up again, and does it again. And I'm like, Tim, what are you doing? And he said, Miss Holly, I think my Play-Doh's broken. I said, Tim, what are you talking about? He goes, it doesn't bounce. I said, Tim, Play-Doh is not supposed to bounce. And he goes, oh, never mind then. And he ended up making some pretty cool creations. But yeah, love my senior boys, grudge ball, so much fun. Had them secede from their teams and think they were going to win.
Jack, if you call me again, you're going to be in. No, I'm not going to grade. Yes, I will put it on RenWeb. Just as soon. Goodbye, Jack.
It's okay. But every day was fun in my class. I have a ton of memories, some appropriate, some not so appropriate for all ages. But it was a great year. It was a great year, full of senior boys.
And Mrs. Kitten.
I just have a few from junior retreat. One coming up from Carlsbad Caverns, being in the van, ready to go, counting everyone, and we were missing somebody. And we looked, I was venting, I was mad, it was hot, I was saying things like, where is he? Why isn't he in this van? It was T-Money hiding in the back of the van. Remember that? No, it was fun, really fun. I thought I lost him in the caverns. And then on that same trip, we looked for Guthrie for a while, and he had fallen asleep behind a couch. Do you remember that, Guthrie? We looked for him forever, and we found out, during the game he was asleep. And then my most recent memory is, of course, of Cade. A little more details in Guatemala. Oh, look at you smiling. That is so funny. So they run and come get me. Cade's in trouble. He's hurt. So I run, and I ran. I mean, I'm not a fast runner. I get over there, and there's blood. We're holding his leg together. I'm like, what happened? And they're giving me this story of, Nathan pants me, and I had my knife open in my pants. And I was like, okay, no, that doesn't even sound believable. Tell me the real story. No, Mrs. Kitten, that's really what happened. And so then we got to spend a lot of quality time together in a Guatemalan hospital, holding his legs together. Thank you, Cade Curry, for the excitement.
Yes, we just wanted you to share our fun memories. Jack. Oh, it's not Jack. Christopher. You're calling for Jack? Thank you for coming today. You're dismissed.